This is the Leica Q2, and it's a 47 megapixel full frame fixed lens camera. That's right, this lens does not come off. And I've seen amazing reviews for this camera. Everyone seems to love it, so I'm thinking about replacing my other famous camera, which is the Fujifilm X100V. Now this has 24 megapixels, but we're gonna get into all those specs later. I wanna put them through their paces, compare them, tell you what I like and dislike about each one, and make my final decision. Before I get into all the testing, I want to thank our sponsor, KEH. They are the biggest seller of used camera gear in the world. They test everything that comes in, so when you buy from KEH, you can be sure you're getting a good deal, gear that's in great condition, and the security of knowing that if you don't like it, you have a 21-day return period, and if anything goes wrong after that, they have a 180-day warranty. I love shopping at KEH, but I also love selling my old gear there so I can trade it in and get something new. If that sounds good to you, check out the coupon codes down below. It's 5% off when you buy, and we also have a 5% bonus when you sell to KEH. Thanks, KEH. All right, let's get into the review. When I first tried the X100V, I fell in love because look at it. It's beautiful, it's fun to use. They have a little aperture ring on this lens, and because it was fixed lens, I didn't have to make the choice of bringing a ton of lenses with me everywhere I went. I knew that I just had what I had on me and it was fun and I was making the best of it. It's also got this little tactile experience of the exposure compensation dials, and it's light enough to carry around your neck and it's not gonna hurt your neck. I could just bring it anywhere with me and know that I was gonna get photos that I love. But there were some drawbacks that were making me question if there was something else out there that could possibly be better for me. So when I put this review up, of course you all sent me comments, and so many of you recommended the Leica Q2 that I just had to eventually check it out. Let's talk a bit about the specs of the X100V. Now, it's supposed to be $1,400, but it's so wildly popular, it's sold out almost everywhere, and where it is for sale, it's sometimes selling for up to $2,500. That's very expensive for this camera. Let's talk about some other parts of it. It's got 26 megapixel APC-C sensor, so it is a smaller sensor. That means that this f2 fixed lens is more like f3. It also means that the 23 millimeters is more like 35 millimeters, which could be fine, but sometimes I found that it was a little bit telephoto for me in all situations. And because it's the APS-C sensor, I found it a little more difficult to crop and get the resolution that I wanted. Still, this camera is great because it's so light. And one of my favorite things that some people tease others about is that I really like the picture profiles. It's got a bunch of them. I export all of my photos using JPEG directly to my phone, and I don't even edit. That's how much I love them. It makes my workflow streamless and fun is what this camera is all about for me. Though, I have to say that recently, when I've been going to export my photos, the app is not working, and the app used to work great. So I don't know if it needs an update or what's going on, but I'm not happy with that. I'm not able to do the same workflow that's making it a fun camera for me. Some other features that I really love, I had mentioned the tactile buttons, but I also really like that it has a flip screen on the back, because that means if I'm shooting low, I don't have to lay on the ground. I can just put the camera down there and see exactly how I'm framing up my shot. I also really like that it has an optical viewfinder if you want to use that. So you can use the EVF or switch over, and then it's like you're kind of shooting with a film camera using the optical viewfinder, and that's very cool. Still, because I love this camera so much, this format, I realize I'm always going to be carrying a camera like this. Of course, I have my Sony Alpha 1, which I'm using for my wildlife photos and all of my professional shoots. But when I'm having a good time, I love something light, where I don't have to make a lot of decisions about the lens, and where the pictures look good enough that I can share them on my private social media or with my friends and family. But I would like more resolution. Pixel peeping is fun to me. So when I heard that the Q2 had 47 megapixels, of course I had to try it out. The Leica Q2 is $5,000 to $6,000 used, but it's a 4-year-old camera, so considering that it's retained its value pretty well, of course so has the Fuji. But that's one thing that I like about Leicas, is that they're timeless, they're classic, people like them for the legacy, and so they tend to hold their value very well. The 47 megapixel sensor is also full frame, so this fixed lens, it has 28 millimeters, and that's a true 28 millimeters. It's not getting cropped in. The lowest aperture available is also 1.7, and that's a true 1.7 without the crop. That means it's letting in about 3 times more light. So my images will surely be cleaner in low light situations. And since this is the type of camera I'm gonna bring out to dinner or out on the town with friends, I know I'll be in plenty of low light situations, and that will come in handy. Here is a photo with the Leica and the Fuji on a very sunny, ideal, clear day, and you can see they both look good. You can even zoom in, and you're gonna see the extra resolution in this Leica on the left. You can see a little bit more detail here. If you wanted to crop, it would definitely be advantageous to have that extra resolution, but they both still look good, and I don't see a problem. Here you see the low light performance of the Leica and how it outshines the Fuji, and even zoomed out, you can see the difference. Look at the detail on the bottles here. The Leica on the left is definitely sharper, and you're going to especially appreciate that when you zoom in and you can see all the extra resolution in the label and how noisy it is on the right. I also want to add that it has optical image stabilization, which the X100V does not, and that helps me out a little bit because I might get a little shaky if I'm going out at night for reasons I don't care to disclose. The Fuji lacks stabilization. Let's look at these photos here. Handheld shots, we got some shaky ones at about 1/30th of a second. That's about the reciprocal rule. And at 1/15th of a second, everything was coming out shaky. The Leica was stable down to about 1/8 of a second for an extra 2 stops of hand holding. Combine that with the faster lens and the bigger sensor, and the Leica has a huge 4-stop advantage in low light. Another thing that I really love about it is that this lens is so much fun. It has an aperture ring, the X100V does as well, but you can manually focus, and you can even click into a macro mode. With the Leica in macro mode, the Fuji has a smaller minimal focusing difference than the Leica, but still the Leica produces higher res results. You can see that you can appreciate the higher res photos once you really zoom in. If you're looking at both of them zoomed completely out, you don't notice much of a difference other than the crop sensor gets you closer and fills the frame more. That's nothing that you can't accomplish with the Leica with a bit of cropping. It's just very tactile, fun. It has this heavy, cool feeling, and it has all of those tactile dials and features that the X100V had that I love. It's just fun to use. Now, I'd mentioned that the lens is 28 millimeters, but one thing that I really love about it is that it has a digital zoom that's done in a really unique and kind of cool way. When you look at the back of the screen, you can choose how the camera is framing up the shot, and it's cropping, and you can see the surrounding area. I'll show you. So this is the full 28 millimeters. If I press the button again, I can crop to 35. You see the white lines. Again to 50, and you can see everything around it, which I think helps with framing. And then again, and you get all the way to 75 millimeters. There's 2 reasons why I find that really cool. First of all, you can take your 28 millimeter lens all the way to 70 millimeters in a digital crop, but with those 47 megapixels, you can actually appreciate the difference. You're not cropping in and getting poor quality with a bunch of noise. You have the good lens, you have the high quality, high res sensor to actually get good detailed pictures while doing that crop. I find it more versatile while not have to worrying about switching out my lenses. And because it's done with that cool cropping in the back screen, it still feels cool and different and unique. Before I talk about what I think is lacking in the Q2, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor KEH, because they make buying used gear fun and carefree and easy and affordable. If you shop at KEH, you know that you're never going to make the wrong choice, because they inspect all of their gear to make sure it's in perfect working order. You're never going to get scammed with them, and you have a 21-day return period. You can try it and see if you like it, and if for some reason it doesn't work out, you can return it. If you keep it and something goes wrong within their 180-day warranty period, you can get it fixed or return it as well. They truly make sure that the experience of buying used gear is not a hassle, and they even gave us a 5% coupon for you to use. So go down into the description below if you want that. And if you want to sell your old gear and get something new like I might be doing today, you can get a 5% bonus with our coupon code as well. Thanks, KEH. Let's get into some things that I think could be improved on the Q2. Now, the first one, I'm not sure if this is a pro or a con, but it does not have the tilt screen like the X100V has. I'm not sure if I would want that. I think maybe It might seem weird for the Leica legacy, and surely one of the things I like about this is the Leica legacy and the Leica history and the fact that they've stayed somewhat similar for a very, very long time. I also love, this is like the great granddaddy of all cameras. Everything has been copying the Leica ever since it came out. So I really feel like I have a piece of photography history with me when I'm shooting with this Leica. But a thing that I feel like they could do better is have more picture profiles. And again, I know some of you are gonna bust on me for loving them, but I love the Fuji picture profiles. And I just think that Leica could give us more options, specifically ones that look more like film, because we are trying to connect to that legacy and that history of photography. This camera does weigh more than the X100V, but I've been wearing it around my neck and it hasn't been a problem. I still think I'll be carrying this with me everywhere without feeling any pain or feeling like it's too difficult to haul around. Another difference is that it does not have the choice to have an optical viewfinder, which I do find fun in the Fuji and I think would be really cool with this. But the biggest thing keeping me from just pulling the trigger is the price difference. We're all always looking for a bargain, and spending $1,400 on this versus about $5,000 for this, I've just really been hemming and hawing because I've been having a lot of fun with this camera, but I just can't decide if I'm ready to spend that kind of money. I think I'm gonna have to shoot some more, see the difference in the photos before I make my final choice. I love both of these cameras. They're both great. There are things I like better about one and things that I like better than the other. I really love the X100V styling with the two tones, but the ultimate test for me, because this is a camera that I want to pick up and take with me anywhere I go, is which one do I pick up when I leave the house? I think that it was Ansel Adams that said the best camera is the one that you have on you. And so I've noticed that when I leave, I'm constantly going for the Q2. I just love it. It's so much fun. I'm having a great time shooting with it. I'm getting excellent results. And also the app is easier to use at this point. So I'm just offloading my pictures to my phone and sharing them with ease. I'm doing it. I'm switching again. Send down your hate in the comments, or your love if you agree with my choice. Thank you so much, KEH, for making this choice easy once again and helping me choose a new love to play with for a while. And I think that I'll be with this camera for a very long time because it certainly will stand the test of time. If you're thinking about getting one of these cameras or maybe selling your camera and getting something else, don't forget to check out KEH. Like I said, they have a 21-day return period. They have a 180-day warranty. They have great prices, and also they inspect all of their gear to make sure that it's in perfect working order when you buy it. So check out KEH. You can get 5% off when you use our coupon code down below, or a 5% bonus if you're selling your gear. Thanks, KEH.